Hello, YouTube friends. Coming to you, sitting next to my Harley girl. I had so many of you in my last video talking or asking about sharing a book with a friend. And so I thought that I would kind of give you the materials that I like to use while reading, period. And then when I know I'm reading it and it's a friend's book, I do things a little bit different. And so I wanted to share a little bit of that with you guys. So let's start with, it's my book and I'm about to read. Down, down. Good girl. Okay. Hopefully she'll stay calm. Anyways, so here's a book that's it's my book, my personal book, and I am going to read it for the first time. What do I personally I have a treat pouch on my hip and she's like, ooh, I can get into that. What do I personally use when reading a book? Now, this is a fiction. Both of these I'm going to show you are fiction. And so I'm going to do things a little different that I've never done before. And I'm kind of excited about it and wanted to share. So I got my book, and then I usually will use a pen that is a color that I would not journal with, or a specific pen that I would not journal with. I have some things here. I have different options as an example. So I don't journal with like bright colors. Sometimes I'll journal with a purple, but this specific, the Staedtler fine liner, I don't use fine liners in my journaling, but I don't want to not use the pen. So what I do is I save it for annotating, for marking in my books. Same with, like, this is a super light blue color. This is a pink, and none of these I would actually use to write with. I like how buttery smooth these two are, but they skip when writing. And when I'm doing my morning mindset pages, I can't have skipping. So what I do instead of getting rid of them is use them while I read a book, because I don't have to like write a bunch and get frustrated with skipping. This pen, I just got this pen at Staples in a set. And this is another thing. If you get a set of pens that have colors in them that you want, but some that you don't, that's what I use it for, is for annotating. This pen is, you'll probably see it again for my August favorites. It is the Uniball 1.7. I love journaling with this pen too. And it's got like a clicky, like the Sarasa pens. It is water resistant and fade proof, also bonus. So those are the pens that I use. Now, what I typically do is I choose a highlighter. So I got my mild, I like the mild liners for reading with. I have lots of colors. So I'll decide, okay, let's grab the book again. So this is the book that I want to read. Sometimes I'll pick a color based on like what I'm feeling. So for this, I feel like the red or the blue, not the red, the pink or the blue might go good. I like journaling. I like reading books with pink. So I think I'm going to do pink. Okay, so this is going to be the pen. And then I'll choose a highlighter to highlight favorite spots. And I try to go with a similar color. I might do a different shade. So like this is like a lighter pink. So let's do that. So I've got my highlighter, I've got my pen. Sometimes they're used interchangeably. Sometimes I decide I want to underline with a pen and not highlight. But I need something to write with because I do write in the margins. So I'll underline, it could be, oh my gosh, I love this, like how this is written. And then I'll write that in there, or I'll put a little heart with this and highlight it with this. So I'm going to choose those two for that book. Then I don't use a whole lot of Post-its, especially if it's my book. If it's a book that I'm reading that I'm going to be that's going to a friend. So that's not going to come back to me. I don't need to I do things a little different when I'm reading it and someone else already has and it's their book. I use more of these just to put like a little note in the front or a note in the back. I do like to use these tabs sometimes, not often. A lot of times it's just if I'm like, I want to put an arrow and say like this, look down here. But again, those are not as frequent as these two tools. Okay, there's two other things that I am going to be using while reading both of these books, and I'm gonna show you. I got this really cool Staedtler lead holder for sketching. A friend recommended it to me, and because I'm going to be reading fiction and because I'm into like the sketching world right now, I have plans of sketching certain things in the book. Specifically, sketching different things. So those are the three tools that I'm going to be using while reading. Lastly, you got to have a pen pouch, because there are times where I bring a book and don't have the tools I've been using, so then I have to use like a black pen, and it just is frustrating. So having a pouch where everything goes in. So I got my pencil. Oh, I also need an eraser now that I'm thinking about it. Pencil, highlighter, pen, and then I am gonna throw in these just in case I decide I want to use them. And this is awesome. I think this is an Erin Condren. I think it's an Erin Condren. I prefer the Happy Planner zipper with bands just because the feel of the canvas I like better than the feel of the plastic. But the Happy Planner for this specific book is a little too large, whereas the Erin Condren is smaller and fits around it better. So anytime I want to read, you got it right there. Okay, so what do I mark in it? I will highlight phrases I like, a character description maybe, something that is shocking. I might use the pen and say, whoa, did not expect that. It's basically, I am reading the book and documenting what I'm feeling while I'm reading. So that's how I read any book, period, nonfiction, fiction. Then when you have a book, let's say I'm reading this, let's say a friend sent me this, and I'm gonna read it and pass on to my other friend, and then she's gonna read it and pass on to the original. What I would do here is I would read it the same way, highlighting, marking my immediate reactions, but I'm gonna be a little more cutesy when it goes back to her. So I will probably use some washi tape and put an envelope in the back. I will definitely put a Post-it in the front and write, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to read this book. I've been wanting to read this book forever, blah, blah. And then I'll probably in the back maybe put another Post-it with my final thoughts. And this one I will definitely be sketching different little things with pencil. I'm not gonna like watercolor and all of that. But that is how I'm reading, documenting my own experience. Here, I'm reading, documenting my experience, but also in a way with gratitude for the gift of being sent this to read and pass on. So I hope this answered you guys' questions on what all goes into it. You can add anything. You could add anything to your own books as you read, or if you're gonna read a book with a friend, definitely talk to the friend first. Like my middle daughter does not want any pages folded, period. Like there are certain things that bother people. So make sure that people are okay with you writing in their books and things like that. So I hope you guys found this helpful, and I hope that this inspires you to start marking in your books, first of all, even for personal use, because like this, I'm reading it for the first time. I'm also gonna put the date that I read it in the top. And then when you go back, let's say you wanna reread it, you know exactly when you read it last. And then every time you read a book, or at least me, I get something different out of it. So it's neat to see the different things that stood out to yourself, but also to different people when you do like the Sisterhood of the Traveling Books. I mean, that's basically what we're doing. Okay, I'm going to run and get some reading done. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Until next time, enjoy your wild, sexy lives.